my name is Gareth and welcome to Fat Pigeon Audio Reviews, where today we're taking a look at the Sony LX250H. I mean, it rolls off the tongue. What a catchy name. When I used to buy vinyl and listen to vinyl, I used to go to car boot sales, 50p a record, and you just grab up all this stuff from the 80s, because I was already into my 80s. And all I'd do was listen to my dad's house. He had Riga turntables, he had projects, had all sorts of stuff. That's how I got into the hi-fi in this first place, through my dad. So whenever I bought something, I'd just go around there and have a listen. It was like a bonding thing as well. I spent a bit of time with my dad and would listen to records. I bought this Sony because, not necessarily because it was had amazing reviews and all that sort of stuff. It's actually part of a stacking system, I think. It used to see, you know, the old Sony stack. You get your tape deck, you get your radio, you get your amp and all that sort of stuff, CD player. It used to just sit on the top, and I think someone was just selling it off individual pieces. And thankfully they did, because I managed to pick this up, like I say, about 5, 6 years ago, for £10. £10. Now I spent £10 on it, won the auction. No one else bid. And I had to go to, I think it was about 20 miles from here. So a little bit of fuel cost. So say it was fuel was cheap back then. Remember that? When fuel was cheap. Oh, it probably cost me £5 for the fuel maximum. So it cost me £15 all in. And the first thing I did was I changed the cartridge, the stylus in fact. I changed the stylus on the end for an Audio Technica. Now the Audio Technica range, they do a massive range. I think I paid £26 for the Audio Technica stylus that I put on this. I didn't know what the old stylus was like. I didn't even try it on my records. It could have been worn. I mean, it's from the early 90s, this player is. Somewhere around the 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. And I didn't want to risk if anyone's ever changed that, because it was actually the original one that came on the Sony. So I got an Audio Technica. I can't remember, I was trying to find out the actual model number of it. But it doesn't really matter, because like I say, I paid £26. I think you can get them for like £17, all the way up to hundreds and hundreds of pounds, depending on what your budget is. So what I was trying to do was, I'm trying to sort of sway people. Not like, ooh, mind control sway. I mean, I'm trying, the younger people out there that are getting into vinyl, because vinyl's back now. Everyone knows that vinyl's back now. And all these younger people, the younger generation, are going out buying turntables or trying to get into the vinyl themselves. And there's a lot of these like Crowley, I can't remember, these little sort of jukeboxy type briefcase. Like they're fashioned on the old ones from the 50s and 60s, where you could carry it around, be portable. Now, I don't want this younger generation, or even my sort of generation that are just getting into vinyl, to think that that's what vinyl sounds like, because it doesn't. And those sort of machines really do destroy the records that you've got. Especially when you're into your vinyl and you're trying to find these records that you want, and they're not that common. And you get hold of a record and you put it on one of these lesser machines. The weight, the downward force on these machines through the stylus can be like 7, 8, 9, 10 grams, 12 grams I've seen on some of them. And they damage the vinyl themselves, because they're not made for quality. They're just made mass produced. Probably cost them about £5 to make, and they charge £60 for them. So that is not what vinyl sounds like. So what I'm trying to do, this is part of the affordable series. So again, £10, I'll have a look to see how much they're going for on eBay, or someone similar. And then you can just upgrade with an Audio Technica or whatever sort of stylus that you want. Which sound signature you prefer. So this is the way to do it. If you want to get into vinyl, I mean, for £60 you're getting these rubbish, horrible things with speakers built in. Don't, because if you go down the route of an old-fashioned vintage Sony turntable, whatever turntable, Technics if you can afford it, Pioneer, anything old that used to be part of a stacker system, this will get you going, and it will get you a nice sort of gauge of what vinyl should sound like. Now, I've got an RPM1 carbon, and I've upgraded it. It cost me about £800 in total to upgrade this with the stylus and the platter and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, the Sony is obviously nowhere near as good as that. It doesn't have the retrieval, the detail retrieval, and the sort of mid-range and the dynamics and the warmth that turntable has. The detail retrieval that project and that stylus can achieve is phenomenally good, and I absolutely love the sound of that. But you've got to start somewhere, and this is where I started, with the little Sony. Now the reason I bought the Sony is because it's actually got a little switch on the back. I've done like a little B-roll for you. So the switch on the back allows you to switch between a phono stage that's built into the Sony, or you turn it off and you can use an external phono stage, or one that's actually in the amplifier. Now it's an automatic turntable, and you press the start button, and the needle comes up and moves across, and then it drops back down. The only thing with this one, again, it's old, it's a very old, bless it, it's an old turntable. The only thing with this one is that they've sort of lost some of the dampening force. When the arm comes down, I mean, this is something you can look out for if you are looking at one of these yourself, or a similar one. The arm just drops down now. I mean, that's just something within the internals has like lost its. I don't know how it works on this one, but the downward force, it doesn't slowly come down anymore. It just slams down, which isn't great. Hence why I started to upgrade and think about getting a new one. But this did me so proud. It's still got warmth. The sound quality of this is actually very good. Now, I tried the phono stage, this own phono stage that's built in, and it's quite nice. It's rich and it's warm, and that's what you want from a turntable. So you are going to get that actual vinyl sound from something like this, especially with the Audio Technica stylus on there. You can upgrade the stylus, so like I say, up to hundreds of pounds depending on what you want to spend. Now, like I say, I tried the phono stage that's built in is very good. I actually preferred it to the Technics. I had loads of Technics. So when I had this, I had no end of Technics amps, Pioneer amps, things like that. And I used to turn the phono stage off within the Sony, plug it into the back of the Technics and give it a run. But I still preferred the sound of the Sony. So even if you haven't got a phono stage within your amp and you haven't got a phono stage separate one, and you're just starting out, this one's absolutely fine. Like I say, it gives you the rich tones, the warmth that you want from vinyl, and the depth and the live feel to it. It's not, like I say, it's nowhere near going to be as detailed and stuff, but this is where you start. You've got to start somewhere. So what you can do is, I've got a video of a knob sound, and it cost me £59 or £60, something like that. And you just put, it's got the one downside, before I get to the amp, the one downside, it's got built-in phono leads. It's got built-in RCAs. So you can't change the cable out, you can't put a better cable in. But again, it's just a starting point. So all I did was, I bought, like I said, this £60 amplifier. I got the phono stage turned the phono stage on from the Sony. It hasn't got one on the actual knob sound. You plug it straight in. Yes, use the phono stage from the Sony, and then you connect two speakers to it. And you've got a really nice, I mean, 60 quid for that, £15 say for that with the fuel, so 75 quid and a pair of speakers, like them bookshelf speakers, the Wharfdales that I tested. That sort of a system, with the knob sound, it sounded great anyway. It sounded great, and I've got a sound test on, so check that video out. But with that knob sound, that 75 quid, and I think the £59 for the Wharfdale 9.0, so what's that, 75 plus 60, so £135, you've got a really nice little system. And it will sound nice, it does sound nice. I used to use that just with the knob sound, just to get me started. So please stay away from those all-in-one units that are giving this sort of wrong impression of what vinyl sounds like, because it does not sound like that. They're cheap, horrible, very mass-produced, damaging your records. So have a look into a knob sound. Have a look into a cheap amp. I mean, it doesn't have to be knob sound. There's so many of these little Chinese amps out there now. Just because they're Chinese doesn't mean they're no good. Some of them are really good and very impressive. These little D-grade amps, these little D-class amps. And they're phenomenally good, especially for the price point. So if you, like I say, you want to get into the vinyl world, then it's only going to cost you, in theory, £135. If you already got your speakers, it's going to cost you less. If you can find something similar, like I say, you got your Pioneers, you've got so many different ones. I think Iowa did one, and so many of the 90s sort of stuff, and that's at the cheap price point. But don't get me wrong, I mean, you can get a Project one for about £180. But again, that's a lot more than like 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds. I'd go as far as 50 quid for one of these, 40 to 50 quid. If you can get one in that sort of price range, pull the trigger, get one, get it delivered, have a listen. Make sure it all works, of course, because the only downside with the automatic is that sometimes it's only normally something within the mechanism. It's quite an easy fix. It's a very easy sort of mechanism within there, so it wouldn't be difficult to fix. But obviously, if you're looking for them and you want to buy one that's in full working order. Obviously, ask the question, full working order. But the first thing you want to do is, like I say, change that stylus. You don't know how long that stylus has been on there. Just get yourself a brand new one. Get a couple. I mean, I think I bought 2 or 3. I know I shouldn't say this, and you shouldn't really do it, but I think I bought 3 from Amazon. Very similar price points. I think they were all sort of Audio Technica. I think I got the £17 one, I got a £45 one, and I got like a £26 one. And the £26 one for price performance was the one for me. It did the best job. And I was happy with this for years. Years and years. I mean, this is like it's nostalgic for me. It takes me back. I mean, just sitting. I was going through the loft the other day, putting some stuff in the loft, and I saw it just sitting there like, hello, forgot about me. That sort of thing. So I thought, oh my God, I'm going to grab that and I'm going to just do a quick review on it. Just a quick look at it. Just so people, like I say, that I've spoke to a few, my son's 13 now and he's into his music and he wants sort of vinyl, he wants to get into vinyl. He's actually going to have this Sony. So lucky him. But a few of his other friends are saying that vinyl doesn't sound very good, it's no good, he'd rather just use his phone. I mean, the fact that they've got one of these little boxy things that's producing that poor a sound, that they thought, no, it's no good, I don't like it, vinyl can be expensive. I mean, again, you can go to, you know, obviously car boots and stuff like that. I've told him what to say to his friends, go to car boots, get them cheaper. But they've got, just use the phones and stuff like that, or a little Bluetooth speaker. And it's such a shame. They've been given this false information of what vinyl would sound like on these cheaper things. And that's the reason I put it on. Not necessarily for me. Well, I did, because it's brought back so many memories. I love this thing. Again, this did me so... I thought this was the bee's knees back then. But it's only like the 5 or 6 years that I've been getting back into the vinyl. And it's just, I love vinyl. Physical copies, the sound that they reproduce. You can't get that from anywhere else apart from a vinyl record. Especially one of these new remastered 180 grams. The sound that you can get from those is just, oh, it's wonderful. I love it. I love it. So enough of me rambling about the cheap rubbish. And I think it is giving them a vinyl a bad name. But again, for the sort of price point, so if you can, I know I only spent £15, again, I keep going on about it, but you can get a decent system with one of these sort of turntables, as long as it's got that built-in phono stage. Like I say, upgrade later for a better phono stage, then you upgrade your speakers later. There's no hurry, you can't hurry hi-fi. Same as the Phil Collins song. You can't hurry hi-fi. Famous, yeah. But no, there's no rush to hi-fi. You upgrade as and when you want to. And with this as a starting point, you'll get there. You can upgrade the stylus on it bit by bit by bit. Spend £100, £200, whatever you want. Change the stylus. Change your phono stage for a valve one if you want to, or just a project one, or something that you've heard good reviews on, and it'll up the sound again. It's all these small little upgrades to the vinyl that you can make it sound exactly how you want. Upgrade the speakers as and when. Again, there is absolutely no hurry to this upgrade path in hi-fi. Just get it how you want it for the money that you've got. Again, it was just going to be a quick rant, quick video. I love this thing. I've been playing around with it actually for the last couple of days. Again, it's no detail retrieval of the Autophon 2M Blue on the Project RPM 1, but this is where I start, and and I recognised the sound when I put it back on. I thought, that's what it sounds like. I forgot, yes. And it's still very good. These are good. The stylus makes all the difference. Try and get yourself an upgraded stylus. As soon as you buy one of these from eBay, if you can get hold of one, especially the younger viewers, anyone really. I keep like targeting the younger viewers, because if you're sort of my age or 20s, 30s, you can afford a bit more. You've got your jobs and all that sort of stuff. You're earning a bit more money. Maybe, I don't know. Or you haven't got the budget for this. Well, you haven't got the budget for a big one, for a 200, 300, 500, 800 pound, £10,000. You haven't got the budget. This is where you start. And for the affordable audio series, I thought this was the perfect place to start for the turntables. Now, what I'm going to try and do is get some more turntables on. I want to see if this sort of a cheaper feel, even though these were expensive when they were. This was part of a Sony stacking system, probably $800, $900 to £1,000 maybe, back in the 90s. I mean, they were incredibly expensive. So there's some decent parts going in there, some decent gubbins for the technology back then. I'm actually going to put another video on. I've been looking into, like I say, the vinyl side of it. I've got really back into the vinyl, especially with this thing. I know I keep saying it. I'm actually been looking at trying to get some vinyl storage. Now, vinyl storage is absolutely ridiculously expensive, and I don't know why that is. So I'm getting more and more records now, and I'm starting to get the CDs again because I'm trying to get a CD player. But I've been looking at a rack, a stereo rack, well, a vinyl store. They call it vinyl storage, they don't call it vinyl racks, and a CD and stuff like that. But I saw one on Amazon. It's a chunk of wood this big, right? So it's about 18 inches across, it's about 12 inches wide. And then it's got two cutouts. Someone's routed out each side of the wood and then put two pieces of Perspex in it to stop the records falling over. $36.99. What? Then I found another little rack with little feet on it. And I thought, oh wow, that's nice. £459. What? So, for part of my next video, if I can, if I've got time, I've just gone out and bought some wood. I spent that £36 that Amazon were charging for this one piece of wood. I spent £36 on wood, and I'm going to try and build myself one. A better one than that piece of board with a bit of plastic either side. So hopefully that will be a video in the future. If you've made it to the end of this video, if you made it through all my ranting, and then don't buy this, do that, upgrade this, upgrade path. If you made it to the very end, then hopefully you'll hear this and then maybe watch the video of me trying to make something. Now, the shelves and stuff, I've made all the shelves and stuff myself. If you've seen my videos in the past, sound test, I made my fireplace. I like to work with wood, I do like it. As part of the affordable series, I think I might put it on because you can make it yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong, not everyone's into making it, not everyone's got the time and the tools. But I just thought, you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's see if we can make like a stand. And I want to put CDs in it, because I've got CDs and want, the bottom bit with feet on it. We'll see how we go. So in summary, the Sony, this sort of old thing with the stylus, just give it a go. Upgrade it straight away. The sound that you get from this far exceeds the rubbishy, poopy ones that you can buy on Amazon for 60, 70, 80 pounds now. Just try and find one of these on eBay. If you've got a little amplifier already, this will just plug in the back because it's got the phono saves built in. Again, unfortunately, it's got the wires, the RCAs are built into it. But again, that's a different thing. You'll get a better turntable when you can upgrade all that. But this will definitely get you into, in a happy way, in a smile on your face sort of way. I mean, it brings a smile to my face because I remember this. I remember the sound signature of this. And I loved it for years. So just, have a look. Have a look now. And while you're on the computer having a look on eBay, hit the subscribe and the like. And then you can see all these other videos of me ranting about turntables and other such like audio affiliated things. Okay, it was just a quick video. So I tell you what, fingers crossed. So like I say, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I keep saying that. Stay tuned, and hopefully you'll see the next video of me cutting wood and screwing and cutting myself and sweating and getting sawdust everywhere. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much for watching. And like I say, fingers crossed. I hope to see you in the next one.